The Proudfoots and Seth working together? Whoa! What brought this on? So in today's video, we're going to be looking at this agreement between Seth Rogers and Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Oh my God. Chris reached out to Seth and asked if at the vigil, if they could put their differences aside and actually work together in trying to find Sebastian. What was the motivation behind that? I smell a rat. Let's dig into the cards and let's take a look at this. This video is for entertainment purposes only, not based on fact, just surely based on my opinion, what I feel to be true, my interpretation of the cards, and my intuition. I encourage each and every one of you to do your own research, form your own opinions. After all, I'm just a blonde throwing cards. Shameless plug here. If you would like a personal reading, or if you would like to learn how to read tarot or LENORMAND from me, visit my website at mysticjenn.com. Okay, so we're going to dig into the cards now and see what's going on here. I have so many questions, as I said. Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm surprised about Seth working with the Proudfoots. Keep wanting to say Proud Feet. But let's dig into the reading. Okay, what is the highest energy, please, for what's going on with Sebastian Rogers' case? Particularly interested in this energy between the Proudfoots and judgment. It's a judgment call. Answering the call, making a decision. Now, according to Court TV, it was Chris that reached out to Seth. Chris reached out to Seth wanting to work together and put their differences aside. Can we work together in finding Sebastian? And I feel like that there is some kind of ulterior motive for wanting to do this, for wanting to reach out, to work with Seth, so to speak. I just feel that there's more to the story. So I want to get some other oracles here. For me, like right now, they're still saying there's no suspects or no proof of foul play. I mean, at some point in time, you got to consider it foul play. Seriously, the kid's been missing. He might be high-functioning autistic, but he knew he had a safe place to go. He wanted to go to his dad's. Okay? So I don't think he would just run away and not even contact his father. Oh, by the way, Mama D, here's the rubber ducky. But, so that just doesn't make sense. And we've already established in past readings, Sebastian, felt that he was already passed. There was foul play. So let's take a look here. Yeah, we got the fox. Somebody's being sly. That is sly. There's something wrong with this situation, with this scenario. What else we got with the fox? Man. Man is sly. We've got a sly man here. And I think both men really are pretty sly. Okay. We've got the coffin. this is unfortunately, you know, a lot of people want to have hope that Sebastian is still alive. It is, in my opinion, that he is not. The coffin comes up a lot, or death card comes up a lot. Usually this coffin in this deck for Sebastian. This man is being sly. He knows something about the passing of Sebastian. There's the letter. Death certificate. He's got information concerning the death. But Chris Proudfoot is not saying anything. And we got the rider. There could be incoming information in regarding to this case very soon. And there's going to be a judgment call. Judgment's going to be passed. Somebody's going to have to answer to what happened to Sebastian. I said this before. It's going to come. It's going to come. I think maybe some other readers might disagree with me. Or it might be divided. I'm not sure. But what I'm reading here is he's going to be found. He's going to, you know, and there's going to be some truths come out. Okay. I just want to give this deck a whirl. I don't know. I just grabbed this deck and not even realizing I was grabbing this deck. This is a Sibylla deck. I don't use Sibyllas very often. I got a couple of them here. I think I got 3 of them, actually. And they're all, each one's like a little bit different. But this one particularly kind of called to me. I'm looking over for a deck that I was going to grab for some more oracles. And this one just kind of spoke. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Show me this energy. What else can you tell me about this? I think, here's what I'm getting. I think Seth suspects the Proudfoots. He's not coming out. Well, he kind of hinted to that without saying it in other videos. There was a little bit of mudslinging going on. But he's keeping that close to his chest. I think both Seth and Chris have the same attitude. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. And I think Chris's motivation for reaching out to Seth was, what does Seth really know? Okay? And being in the loop of what is being uncovered in the investigation, so that Chris and Katie can get their story together, the story that they're going to deliver about his passing. And so they want to know, they want to be in the loop. And Seth's motivation is keeping an eye on the suspect. And I think Chris is a suspect in Seth's eyes. Okay. So both of them are like keeping an eye on each other. And Seth wanted to bring in these specialized dogs that are highly trained. And he's still waiting on an answer from Chris on it. Chris hasn't answered. Okay, we've got quarrels. There's a battle going on. There's going to be a battle. And we've got, oh my God, lawyer. Here you go. There is a court battle coming up. I would say Seth is going to be found, or Sebastian is going to be found. Somebody who rides into town. It could be the guy with those dogs that are cadaver dogs, narcotics. I mean, they can smell out bombs. They can smell out anything. Highly trained person with highly trained dogs to see if the dogs could pick up anything that the police were not able to pick up on. There's something's going to be found out. And we've got a sly man here, trying to put this in his past. And there's a court battle coming up. So I feel like they are trying to get their story straight. And somebody's getting a fancy lawyer. I think there is going to be somebody that sympathizes with the Proudfoots and wants to represent them. A visit. We got the rider here and we got a visit. Okay. So a visit. What else do we got here? Let's get some more. Let's get 2 more to complete this line, please. Can I get 2 more cards? Thank you. And we've got flatterer. That's Chris all day long. Trying to flatter Seth. And we've got thief. To me, this is somebody through flattery is trying to get away with something. Especially when this visitor comes into town and there's something uncovered. We have somebody here being sly. How are we going to collaborate our story? How are we going to change our story? But nevertheless, I think there's going to be enough evidence for an indictment. And it's going to be one hell of a court battle. And this could be another case of the defense coming up with alleged evidence or proclaiming their innocence, trying to pour on the charm and trying to get the public on their side. Okay. I'm sorry, I need to put it this way because this is the way I'm facing. But this is the way I need it. I think you guys can still see those cards. Yep. Okay. Okay, I first want to ask why all of a sudden does Chris want to work with Seth in finding Sebastian? I have my theories, like I just said. Let's see what the tarot says. I actually had a different case in mind that I was actually going to be covering. But then all of a sudden, Seth came out of my mouth, and I'm like, okay. Because I had this deck picked out for somebody else. Actually for Madeline Soto. That's going to be the next video, I think. Okay. Okay. Show me the energy, please. Why is Chris, or Seth, yeah, Chris, why did he reach out to Seth to work together? Queen of Wands, a sense of determination. I think Katie was the one that pushed the idea. 5 of Swords. There's some less than honorable intentions on working with Seth. The Wheel. They're hoping to throw any kind of suspicion off themselves. They're kind of hoping that the wheel will spin in their direction, in their favor. Judgment again. They're hoping that the change, people, the judgment that the public is putting on the Proudfoots, that is going to change things. They're hoping that judgment is going to be in their favor. 8 of Cups. And they're able to walk away from this. Let's see what's under the deck. 3 of Cups. That's at collaborating. That's worked together here. Queen of Wands. I think she came up with the idea. And I'd say Katie came up with the idea. It wasn't Chris. And Chris probably thought, wow, that's an excellent idea. The Lovers with the 5 of Swords. This is the 2 of them. This is Katie and Chris. Less than honorable intentions here. They're making it look one thing when it's something else. 13. Transformation. This is the Death card. With the Wheel. So, again, Death. And I said before, Death and the Coffin card, anything like that, comes up quite often for Seth. And I did a very mini spirit box message from him. Every reading I come up with, I feel he has passed. He is on the other side. And again, this is wheels spinning in their favor concerning the passing of Sebastian. It's almost like they want to sway everybody onto their side. They've got a master plan here. Even the Sibylla is echoing that master plan. They're trying to get away with something. Stealing, the thief reminds me of stealing the truth, stealing honor, and flattery. Stealing the public opinion. In other words, getting the public on their side versus prosecution or anybody else. Okay, then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Dependable, steadfast. Again, a sense of determination. And it does feel like this is going to be another similar to Brian Koberger. But instead of having absolute next to nothing stacked evidence against him, there's going to be plenty of evidence against the Proudfoots. And it's going to take a while, I think, for this to go to trial. And this judgment is going to take a while. Jury's going to deliberate for a while. It's going to take a while for judgment to be served. But it will be. They're moving slowly, steady progress towards a judgment day for this crime. 8 of Cups, 9 of Wands. Stress. And stamina. Their theory is, let's stay strong. We stay strong. We stick together. We stick to our story. There's a sense of getting away with it. Getting away with it. I don't like that. But the whole point of why Chris reached out to Seth was because Katie came up with the idea and says, we need to make peace with Seth. Because if we don't, we're sabotaging ourselves by being against him. We need to sway the public to our side. And so it's good. And they know it's going to take a long time to probably even find Sebastian. But there is a certain determination here. And I'm being really drawn to this figure on the shroud. It's almost trying to depict Jesus with the crown of thorns. A sense of suffering and stamina. It's like, woe is me. But in the beginning, it's almost like I could see Katie playing a new role and starting to turn on the waterworks, if you will. They have a plan to try to sway the public and maybe even taint the jury pool. But I feel this case is opposite of Kohberger's as far as guilt and innocence, to be honest. I might question and say, well, there might be a slight chance that they had nothing to do with this. Had there been evidence that outside of Mom's word for it, that there was proof of life at the house after the restaurant. There is no proof of life since the restaurant. That's where I have a problem with this case. And the last person to see Sebastian alive was Katie, his mom. Sebastian has not been seen since the restaurant. And the footage of somebody taking out the garbage, there's no definitive proof that that was Sebastian. Seth himself said that the whole house was dark, no lights on the outside, and the Ring camera or whatever that caught that footage, it was too dark to make out who it was. All you saw was a shadow, a figure with and a flashlight taking out the trash. So that's the motivation there. Now, I want to take a look at Seth. Why Seth was willing to work with Chris and Katie. I know he says, yeah, all the help he can get, more help, more boots on the ground, things like that. But there has to be something else. Because at this point, Katie and Chris's story has changed and been elaborated on several times. So, change in story is suspicious enough. How can he trust anything that those two say? How can he trust that something that Seth finds out and shares with them doesn't tip them off and say, oh, he's getting too close, and maybe they bolt. You know, maybe they bolt. Okay, what is Seth's motivation for working with Chris? Inconsistency. Inconsistency. That says a lot. Chris sees the changing of the story. Or, I'm sorry, Seth sees the changing of the stories. The flattery. Okay. Seth is seeing right through the flattery. He says, there is inconsistency with them, and he knows it. The sense of flattery, maybe taking them off guard. There's the house, country house. There's the house. A sincere friend. He's trying to befriend them to a point. Infantilism. Yeah, he is waiting. What he's doing, he's expecting them to slip up and make a mistake, and he's going to be right there to catch them. The focus is on the house. And Seth does not believe Sebastian ever made it home either. He does not believe a single word, or he sees right through all the flattery. But his motivation is, I'm going to play with the flattery. I'm going to play nice because I know there's inconsistencies in their story around what happened at the house or out or in his or outside of the house. He understands that. And he is on a quest here. He's playing sincere. He's looking sincere. I think he wants to catch them off guard. Okay. Okay, one more shuffle. Okay, show me why. What is the motivation behind this? Seth working with Chris, agreeing to, accepting Chris's proposal to work together. Strength. Fortitude. Strength in numbers. He feels like he would have a very strong position working with Chris. Page of Cups, being nice, but it's a false niceness. It really is. Page of Pentacles, information. Page of Pentacles is supposed to be reliability, but it's more of a student. It's more of learning. There's page energy here of learning information. He's keeping the emotion small, the gesture small, but he's hoping to gain insights and wisdom. And, you know, I'm drawn to these eyes. These eyes are huge. These eyes are looking at you. It's like, I got an eye on you is what he's saying to Chris. The world. A completion. So to the world, to the public, it just looks like that they are trying to cooperate and work together to find Sebastian. Both sides have ulterior motives. We've got another page. Page of Wands. Venture. A new venture. There is a lot. This is all about communication and perception. And 3 pages are children, immature energy, messages. There is some kind of discussion. There might even be a heated discussion. There is a lot of talk. And I feel like the rumor mill is going to begin because they're working together. 6 of Wands, victory. A very strong victory. He feels like he's going to be victorious. Victorious in proving this case. Hanged Man, or the hanging one, with the Page of Cups. He's looking to... He has a totally different perception on things by working with Chris and Katie. At the same time, I'm just being told he's waiting. He's waiting and waiting. We've had the Knight of Pentacles. Slow moving. Steadfastness. We also had a sense of willpower and stamina in the last spread. You know, slow and steady, Eventually, they're going to hang themselves. Then we got the Queen of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles. That's mother and son. Dead center. So I think Sebastian suspects Mama Dearest more than anything, and that Chris is covering. This is Mama Dearest right dead center. Then we got the World with the Seven of Swords. Treachery. Deception. So there is a sense of the world, social media, news outlets, a lot of deceptive information, a lot of deception in what's going out. And to put it plain and simple here, that he is thinking that the Queen of Pentacles will successfully hang herself with her lies. They're going to be found out. Ace of Pentacles, there it is. That information coming to light. Wow. I kind of thought it. And there is a sense of worry with Katie. Six of Swords, Nine of Swords. She's worried about whether or not she can, if they're going to escape judgment on this. Over the death. Because they want a new beginning. They feel like they're at a standstill, Two of Swords. And they're afraid of prison, being imprisoned. So now she wants to play the grieving mother, and instead of putting up defenses. And there's the Ace of Wands. That's her great idea. This is all about persuading the public and anybody else, even LE, everybody, to think and see things in a different perspective, even if that perspective is skewed, which it is a skewed perception. It is all how they are perceived in the public. Right now, they're not looking real good in the public. They know that. So this is kind of like a media stunt on their part. Well, if we work with Seth, we're not going to look guilty. Guilt and suspicion is going to be thrown off of us. But there is still a level of concern. And they are keeping an eye on Seth to see how close to solving this he gets. Because they don't want to go to prison. But who does, right? Who does? So I don't feel I need true crime oracles today. I just feel like this is basically, I just wanted to know the motivations. The reasoning. Why Chris reached out to Seth and why Seth decided to accept the offer of working together. Especially when Seth has hinted he didn't trust them. That he thought that they were hiding something. For shits and giggles, before I close, let's take a look at this oracle. This is like a very thick LENORMAND on steroids, plus a bunch of other cards. All the LENORMAND in here, plus a shit ton of others. Personalities, timing, all kinds of stuff's in here. Ages, scenarios. So let's kind of see what comes up here. I'm really curious. Okay, any final thoughts? Tracks. I knew it. And intuitively, Seth's on to them, and Chris and Katie are trying to make sure they know what Chris knows so that they can cover their tracks. That's about covering their tracks. The end, mutable, end of the season. There is more information that is needed in order to get a clear picture. Obviously, there's no evidence of anything. They're looking for that information. I think Seth is also seeing things like suspicion is not enough to convict, not even enough to indict. So, because the Proudfoots have been, or somebody's been really good in covering their tracks. Then we go here. Waterfall. Overflowing abundance. Chasing after something. This is an emotional release. Letting it go. This feels like, okay, this here's telling me that Seth is chasing after more information. And I think it is, well, working with or agreeing to Chris's agreement to work together is his way of keeping an eye on him. He's still out chasing information. I would like to see Seth keep some things to himself. The raccoon, problem solver. He's asking a lot of questions. And a raccoon is a scavenger. He's scavenging for evidence. And trying to solve a problem is, again, let them hang himself. Magnet. You know, pulling on the charm. He's on to, you know, there is a seductive energy there. And we got the sun. And I'm taking this as literal. Covering their tracks about the sun, about Sebastian. Tornado. There's a storm brewing. Destruction. Sudden and unexpected. This is a sudden and unexpected event with Sebastian. Mice. Being very stressed out. Deterrent. So, deterrent. They're trying to throw everybody, L.E. and Seth, off of their trail. They're trying to cover their tracks. I'm telling you. Diamond ring. And it's a couple. It's both of them. They're in it together. Whip. And there's they're definitely trying to hide and cover up the abuse factor as well. Because the abuse is going to get them all tangled up to begin with. And then we got summer. Got something about summertime. So it is possible. And I think I said this in another reading. I predicted this summer of Sebastian being found. It's here again. Summertime. Okay. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I can't talk. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Because, folks, as you know, okay, this is over. And this is where I drop the mic.